Alexander. Lead actors Joshua Burge, Chloé Groussard, and co-producer Jordyn Barber. Another round of applause, please. So, flew in from Paris, yes? Chloe and Josh, you just flew in from where?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, like barely made it, right? Arrived 5 p.m.
Yeah, something like that.
Now, so you just came back from Manchester and Paris. You had your European premiere a couple weeks ago. Let's start with there. How was the reception?
It was great. Yeah, it was really amazing. So,
it happened at the Latin Quarter.
Yeah.
That was the premiere.
The Christine Cinema Club. And
can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it was just a wonderful venue. I think Scorsese is one of his favorite theaters, and Chloe had a lot of her friends there and family, and it was just great to premiere in Paris. Just a wonderful night.
And Manchester was before that.
Manchester
Film Festival. Yes, it was one of the. You were chosen as one of the feature films.
Yeah, and Chloe won Best Actress.
Wow. So this goes back 2.5 years ago. We were actually in Paris together. Alex invited me, to spend a couple of weeks in Paris. And at that time, you were just about to work on your short film, Sada. And so that was 2.5 years ago. After Sada, how did this project start along?
Yeah, so Sada, I cast Chloe, that's how we met in Paris. And then that was like November, December 2021. And then the following year, like it was like February, March, we were looking for another project. And I had this idea, this treatment for PRATFALL. It was just something I was thinking about after the pandemic. It was a film about connection, human connection, and I really wanted Chloe and Joshua. That was the vision, and I was able to get both of them. So it was a miracle. It was
right. So yes, the interesting part about meeting Joshua. Yes. Can you tell us about that? That was such a wonderful story. I think you met. Well, you went to a festival.
Yes, I've just always been a huge fan of Joshua Burge's work, and he's done some amazing films. Buzzard. If you haven't seen them, Buzzard, Relaxer. He's been in The Revenant as well. I went to a premiere for Relaxer at South by Southwest, and then I didn't actually approach him, but we connected on Instagram, and so when it came time for Pratfall, I just reached out on Instagram and I sent him a treatment and the link for the short film Sada, and somehow maybe you could talk on that. You responded positively.
Yeah, there was a so I watched Sada immediately after seeing that, and then read the treatment, and he also sent me a bonus screen test with Chloe, which was of Chloe, I should say, that she was absolutely magnificent in it. And so it was just the combination of all these things. I could understand that as in Sada, that Paris was like the third character, and it came across in the treatment that New York would be the third character in Pratfall. And he mentioned like the Jordyn brothers or these types of movies from the 60s and 70s that I was a fan of, that I never thought anybody really made anymore. And if they ever did, I would really like to try to do that. And we chatted, and we just had a lot of those same sensibilities of those things that we appreciated, and it was just an extraordinary opportunity to collaborate and make a picture along those lines, and it was just a fantastic thing we to spend that hot summer in July in New York. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, very, very, very different from other films, right? Like a Buzzard, completely kind of a different genre. So how did you enjoy that?
How is sorry.
Your other films such as Buzzard and this Pratfall, quite a different type of film.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for those who Buzzard and Relaxer, the movies that Alex was mentioning, directed and written by Joel Petrakis, who I've collaborated with many times, and we have a motif, I guess, that you could say that we we approach things with, and so there were similarities in the sense that there was a lot of the same fearlessness, I would say. The things that we did in New York, and stuff, that was something that that I felt at home with, maybe. I don't know what the right word would be, but it certainly didn't feel foreign in any way. So.
Just one thing, yeah, just going from the short film Sada to making a feature with someone like Joshua, I needed somebody to help me make that transition. I think that's where Jordyn comes in.
Yes, please, Jordyn, tell us about some of the difficulties with the this Pratfall shoot that you experienced in New York.
Jordyn is my producer, and she did an amazing job on this.
I appreciate it. It was a process. It was like very like run and gun. I think the thing that I take to heart from the film the most, being behind the scenes, is how Alex really like did it all. Like literally to see somebody shoot, do sound, and edit in the same day. Like I would see him take home like the takes, and he would be like, "What do you think about the scene?" I'm like, "I love it. It's great." And then he would like rewrite it and like go out and shoot it again. and it was just like amazing by the seat of your pants kind of process that was really inspiring and like super truly like independent.
You really did not sleep during that time, as what I heard.
No, I didn't sleep at all.
How long was the shoot in that night?
I think what we ended up using, it was like about 10 days. Yeah.
Minimum sleep.
Minimum
Like
sleep.
yes.
I just want to say the real work, I feel, came from Joshua and Chloe and what they put in. I mean, you all saw it. It's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, absolutely. For Chloe then, so you've done Sada in Paris. You've done Pratfall now in New York. How did you enjoy these two films? Sada was your first film.
Yes, so that was my very first film. So the very funny thing is that at first, Alex and I met online, I just auditioned. Oh no, not even. We just had a quick chat, and he offered me to do the role of Valérie on this Sada short. And I had no idea what was his process. So at first it can be kind of weird as an actor, especially when it's your first short film. I was like, what's going on? Where is this gonna lead? I have no idea what we're shooting. Just trying stuff, improvising. But I could see and feel that he had somehow everything in his head. And I was like, okay, just trust the process, trust the director, just, okay, go with the flow. And then when he first sent me the first version of Sada, I was like, whoa, I had no idea things would come up this way. And I remember emailing Alex a few months after. I was like, Alex, I feel a bit frustrated because at first when we shot Sada, I had a hard time letting go and fully immerse into your process. Now that I know how you like to shoot, how you like to do movies, I want to shoot again with you, and I'm gonna fully let myself go into that process. And that's how we started talking, doing something new. and I was living in New York at the time. And we were like, okay, I'm free this summer, let's shoot another short. Should I come to Los Angeles? And he was like, no, I have something else in mind. But we have to shoot it in New York, and there's an actor that I want to work with. And if this actor accepts, we're going to make something big and beautiful. And that's what happened.
And that was good. Yes. Wow. That's wonderful. And so after Manchester, you won. So after that, you are now working on I hear a large film in
Yes.
France.
It's supposed to be secret.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
That's a secret.
It's still a bit under process, but I got confirmed as the female lead of this French feature. I'm very excited. This is going to be something completely different, which I love to do.
Mhm.
Sada was different. There is another director in the room I've been working with many times, Alec Huggins, and the roles that I've been playing so far are all very different from one to another, and I feel very happy about that and grateful. And yeah, in a few weeks I'm going to be able to tell more about this feature.
That's great. Okay. Well, maybe some questions from the audience. If anyone has a question.
I have one.
Yes, please.
Could you just talk a little bit about the ratio of like scripted word to improv?
Well, we knew every time what Alex was willing to reach. We knew what was supposed to happen in the scene, but it was on us to find a way to go there. So sometimes just one take, one shot, one take, and it would work. You know, this magical moment where everything just clicks together. And sometimes for 5-6 hours we would try again and try differently and maybe go on another spot, because the city was really our set. And so we needed to compose also with the environment. And so yeah, we knew exactly what we needed to reach, right?
Right, I think having no crew and having the city be the set, I think that just freed everything up for Joshua and Chloe to just let loose. But yeah, things like the famous meatball in Central Park, that was an anecdote that Joshua was talking about, telling us between takes.
Yeah, it was a meme that was popular that week. I just saw that. I was just telling you guys because we were walking.
Like, don't tell me. Let's just start rolling.
Yeah, just say that. You know.
You know, so things like that, just as an influence potentially for Eli. We had conversations about that. The subject of American Boy, Scorsese's short film, that was another one. So there were a lot of different things. Different conversations I had with Joshua initially that referenced certain films, just to get it in Joshua's head. Yeah, there wasn't just like, you know, a number of different references. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're an expert now at backwards walking film?
Yeah, I thought I did really good, except one time I think I fell. Right, there was one time I kind of tripped. Yeah, I was walking backwards. I was pretty tired. We were like, remember we were shooting like at 5 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, but that was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you walked backward fantastically.
Any other questions?
What'd you shoot it on?
It was a small boat. It had to be a very small camera, so I had to use a Canon without a rig because we had to be inconspicuous. So.
And the audio, did you lob them up and go through a Zoom, or did you actually use the audio from the camera?
No, it was a mic onboarded on the camera, and mostly 35mm lens, and then a few shots with a longer lens. A few scenes that we had longer lens. Yeah.
Because it seemed like a lot of the shots were close up. Was part of that because of the audio, since you were using that mic and you're fighting the sounds of the city?
The framing of the two-shot was something I always had in mind. But after shooting Sada, I sort of kind of mastered that process, and I was pretty confident about pulling it off that way, technically. Yeah, I didn't let the technical aspects dictate how I made the film. Yeah.
In the back, please. First. In your green shirt. Yes.
So there was a shot where it was kind of above in the park, looking down at them, and I think there was like a tree in between. Did you climb a tree or something to get that?
No. No, there's a part. I forget if there's a part where you're elevated and you're just looking down. So it was just part of Central Park where you're on the street level. It's looking down.
I was wondering about that. Yeah. Yes, please.
You mentioned, was this film shot in 11 days or 8 days?
I think it was about. There were a few days we started the shoot with. He had long hair, and 3 days in, I kind of realized it wasn't going to work out. I had to get a haircut. So we lost 3 days. So I think it was about. What was it? 10 days. It was about 10 days. Yeah.
Okay, was there any scene that had to be, in particular, had to be condensed that didn't make it the final cut?
Yeah, there were a number of scenes. The editing process took a while, and there were quite a few scenes I had to cut.
What was the scene that had to be cut?
Well, it's a walk and talk, so there's a lot of conversations that just would have there were a lot of great conversations that we just didn't feel that would move the story along, so, yeah.
Yes, in the back.
I noticed a really cute moment where somebody said, I think it was Josh, said something about running, and then that group of people ran past. Was that how did you make that happen? That was so adorable. That you mentioned the word run or something.
Yeah.
And then
Things like what Chloe's described and what Alex has described this evening of how living having the film be a lived-in sort of experience and doing that in New York in a very real environment. Those are the types of things that you hope for, that you don't know if they're you cannot guarantee them. It just happens. Or one of my favorite moments is when when they're doing the seashell, she hands it back, she says, no, listen to it, it's the ocean, and he holds it up to his ear, and there's just cacophony of sound coming. But that was all real, that just happened. Those dudes were just doing their daily job, and it just happened to work out. So, it's just things like that is for me, the magic of making a film in this process is just, those are just delights that, it just is.
one more.
I just want to ask about the ending. Maybe I just didn't get it, but what's the reason behind Joshua's character, let Chloe inside the train, and then also the Central Park, the very last shot, his expression is more just happy or kind of greedy, and then I just thought about his related to his lost body or
Yeah, Eli is a character has dealt with a lot of loss, and I think why he fled. That was something I always felt would have been a natural reaction for the character based on what he went through with. And we talked a lot about the backstory. We don't reveal much in the film, so. But yeah, I think him fleeing the scene was something that was always planned.
Sorry. Yeah, the fact that maybe there is some sort of healing. Maybe the slight smile of Eli is a bit of no matter what happened now with Joelle, the fact that she was somehow part of his life. To me, the way I see it, when I see the little smile at the end, it's okay, this character is now feeling a little bit maybe better about everything he's been through because of that woman. So just remembering the memories of her. But it's up to everyone also to have their own feeling about the way he feels.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm no academic.
Any other questions? Someone had, okay, great.
Hi. Joshua, I wanted to ask about your tic that your character had, or, you know, kind of what was going on that wasn't completely hashed out or touched on, but it had a great way of kind of derailing moments with you guys.
Sure, yeah. Well, that was in the original treatment that Alex sent. It was that the character had these sort of tics and these reactions to things, and so it was just that would happen in certain moments where he was felt like he was in a situation that made him uncomfortable, or there was either crossroads or a certain thought or specific kind of regret would pop into his head or something. There were just various reasons why these tics might be occurring, and of course she points out. Joelle points out that these tics are starting to go away, and he gets self-conscious. What do you mean? No, they're still there. You know, like what do you? Because he's real. You know, didn't think about it. But originally, that was just that was in the treatment of the character and his tricks. And his, I don't remember how much discussion we had about like how big to make these things, or how to do them exactly, or how how to present them. Really, it was just kind of again probably just happened.
And there were a few compromises. I remember originally in the treatment, the ending scene was supposed to take place in the back of a yellow cab. There was going to be a lot more blood, and I think you were kind of searching for that yellow cab through the whole process. It didn't quite pan out. So then we just kind of decided to do it on the train at the last minute. Yeah. One shot. Yeah.
Which I actually think even if the cab had worked, I like the train better.
I think the train better.
Yeah, it's just symbolic that everything keeps moving with or without you. Oh, they quote you too.
Any other questions? Yes, please.
Not really a question, more just a comment though. Visually, I think it's really impressive.
Thank you.
Especially for an indie film though. The chemistry that the two of you have though is like it just comes right at you. I just want to say congratulations. Seriously, it's really, really well done.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.